Call the Thursday, November 8th, 2018 meeting to order. First item of business is approval of the minutes from the October 25th meeting. Any changes or additions to those? Next item is citizen comments. If there's anybody who has any non-agenda item comments. Seeing none, we'll move on to employee promotions and new hires. Who's up first?
Good evening. I'm Jesse Rohr, Director of Public Works. So every quarter, Public Works maintenance workers, both 1 and 2, are evaluated and assessed in their job performance. A specific skill-based assessment is performed on each one to help determine their acquired skills and capabilities in hopes of promoting them to the next level. With that being said, I have 3 new promotions to make you aware of tonight. First one, immediately to my left here, is Jake Erickson. Jake has been with the Public Works Service Division since winter of 2014. Jake started as Maintenance 1, was promoted to Maintenance Worker 2, and now has been promoted to Equipment Operator. Jacob's work ethic is outstanding, and he continues to grow and is a large part of the Service Division team. Next, in the middle there, is Mike Fonenstill. Mike was hired as a Maintenance Worker 1 in June of 2017. He has been a true asset to Public Works in the year and a half that he has been with us so far. We're lucky to now have Mike as a Maintenance Worker 2 since his recent promotion, and there's no doubt that he'll continue to do a great job and excel for the Service Division in his new role. Beside him, on the end down there, is Orion Orth. Orion has been with the city since 2015. He was hired on as a Maintenance Worker 1 for the Service Division. He's done a great job with the Service Division during his 3-year tenure and was recently promoted to Maintenance Worker 2. His special skill set is a true asset as well for the City of Hayes. He continues to perform well in his day-to-day duties, and we're happy about the recent promotion. I just want to thank all 3 of these gentlemen for their dedication and quality work ethic, and happy that we can award them with these promotions.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the hard work you guys do.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Good evening. Don Scheibler, Chief of Police for the Hayes Police Department. It's my pleasure to introduce our 2 newest police officers. To my left is Nick Kleiber. Nick comes from us. He graduated from Center High School. He also, before that, he went to Bennington High School. That's very important in the hiring process.
Always scream.
After that, he went to Cloud County and got his associate degree in wind technology. Then he went to 4-Day State and got his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And then he went to work for the Buckeye Wind Farm. Climbed up down those towers. He decided to do something less dangerous. Became a police officer. We're very excited to have him on board. Lane DJ Hoffman is also with us tonight. Lane grew up in St. Francis, Kansas, where he graduated from St. Francis High School. Then he joined the Marine Corps, did 2 tours in Iraq. After that, he came to work for us. We're very excited to have both these young men with us. I think they're going to be a great fit for the police department and, more importantly, for our community.
Welcome.
They'd be happy to take any questions from you.
Yeah, so why'd you go to Center instead of Bennington? Your parents just moved?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm graduated from Marion High School, so welcome.
He's got to be good.
And-
He's from Northwest Kansas.
Yeah, he's not from Edson? Is that I got it right?
close,
Okay,
he's
it's
close.
yeah.
Didn't mean to start that, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Yes,
Thank you for
absolutely.
both of you for
Absolutely.
being
Thank
here
you for your
tonight.
service.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Is that it? All right. Sorry, I was expecting something else there. Next item is the Ash Elm and 4th Street reconstruction.
No, Mayor.
I think you have a consent agenda.
Oh, whoops, I skipped over one there. Yeah, consent agenda. So there actually are some appointments for approval. So I think we'll need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the mayoral appointments and the consent agenda items.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Millick, second by Commissioner Musel. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 4-0. Next item is the Ash Elm and 4th Street reconstruction. Yeah, I skipped over that. Welcome, Mr. Brown.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm John Brown, the project manager for the City of Hayes. And now that Ash Street is wrapping up, the next priority major reconstruction project involves the reconstruction of sections of Ash Street, 4th Street, and Elm Street in the area of Lewis Field Stadium near on the Fort Hays State University campus. Ash and 4th Streets are functionally classified as local or residential streets. Elm is classified as a major collector and carries between 1,700 and 2,900 vehicles per day. The total project length is approximately 3,100 lineal feet. The existing pavement on Ash and 4th Street is concrete. Elm Street is concrete overlaid with asphalt. The cross-section and the width and the sidewalk configuration vary throughout the length of this project. Elm is 29 feet back-to-back with parking on the west side, which does leave 2 9-foot driving lanes. 4th Street is plenty wide at 40 feet from back-to-back of curb with parallel parking on both sides. And Ash Street is 30 feet wide from back to curb with parking on both sides as well. The intent of the project is to replace the pavement throughout with 8 inches of new concrete pavement and a geogrid reinforced crushed concrete base. We'd be replacing any failed concrete curb and gutter, which is along most of the project, the curb and gutter has failed. And we would correct any ADA curb ramp issues, replace driveway approaches where the curb is being replaced in that area, and the sidewalk replacement would mostly be limited to those areas that need to be replaced due to the adjacent construction, like where it's up against the curb and gutter or where it's next to driveways or the ADA curbs. We wouldn't necessarily be replacing all of the sidewalk throughout the project, just where it's adjacent to construction that's necessary due to the ADA ramps or driveways. The road width throughout the project would remain the same, but the intersection geometrics would be improved, particularly at 5th and Elm. Here you can see how the existing curb radius, looking down here at the bottom corner here, the purple line is the existing curb radius. If we pull it back to the green line, that'll open up the intersection a little bit and give more room for traffic to get through around that curve.
How many feet is that, John, this pullback?
The pullback, well, currently it's a 25-foot radius, and I think we'd be pulling it back to about a 35-foot radius. So it would be something less than 10 feet pulling it back. Last week at the work session, you had asked about a crash history in this area. And so this visual shows the location and the type of vehicle accidents over the last 4 years. From January 2014 until December 2017, there were 13 crashes in the proposed project area, with the most being along the Elm Street from 5th to 6th Street. Of those 13 crashes, 4 were moving vehicle crashes, which include 2 angle crashes at the intersection of 6th and Elm, which were really not actually doing anything to the intersection of 6th and Elm with this project. Would be starting just immediately to the south of the intersection of 6th and Elm. There's 1 head-on crash at the intersection of 5th and Elm. We believe pulling the radius back should help alleviate or reduce the possibility of that type of a crash. There was a rear-end crash at 4th and Elm. I don't think we're doing anything that'll affect that either way. And then there were 4 side swipes of parked cars and along this. And then there was 5 were vehicles backing out of driveways and hitting an adjacent nearby parked car.
If we looked at those side swipes were all probably on game days. It's pretty tight down there.
We have, as I mentioned last week, we have had preliminary discussions with Fort Hays State University about converting the existing parallel parking to angle parking along the west side of Elm between 4th Street and Lewis Drive, which is kind of depicted in the picture there in the bottom left. This is kind of looking north westbound, northwest-ish from 4th Street. And you can see the angle, well, actually from a little south of 4th Street, but you can see where the angle parking changes to parallel, and those would be all converted to angle then. Should Fort Hays want to proceed with that, they would cover the extra cost it would be to the project to make that conversion.
Do you think it's something that's attractive to them?
They did express interest. Dana Cunningham mentioned he thought they could maybe get 8 extra spaces out of the deal, so they were interested.
So what is that, when you say extra cost? I mean, it's just paint, isn't it?
Well, it'd be extra pavement because
Don't you have to go in?
Oh, you're going in.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, be widening it out a little bit to.
Gotcha.
And that's right where the new fraternity, multi-fraternity unit is.
Right.
They'd have to take it in 8 feet.
Yeah, something like that. You can kind of tell where the there's a sidewalk back there,
Mhm.
Right.
and so it would remove that green space that's between the sidewalk and the curb, and then push the curb back to the sidewalk there. The project would also include new stormwater inlets and throughout the project, which is mostly on Ash Street. And then it would upgrade the existing 4-inch water main that runs along Ash to an 8-inch water main. And then all the services would be upgraded throughout the project. There is an existing 12-inch water main that runs along 4th Street and Elm Street, but that's relatively new. It was put in the 90s. It's still in good shape, and we wouldn't be upgrading that. So fee-based proposals were received from 3 engineering firms, as shown on the screen here. The lowest cost proposal was submitted by Driggs Design Group of Hayes. Engineering services would include the design of the project through bid letting, the pre-construction meetings, and a review of contractor submittals. An inspection of the project would be completed in-house by city staff. The schedule proposed by Driggs Design Group calls for a project ready to bid by March for construction through the summer of 2019. With the area closest to Fort Hays State University, that being Elm Street, completed first during the summer break, and then the rest of the project, 4th and Ash, would probably be finished up in the fall. This project was listed on the CIP of the 2019 budget with a cost estimate of $1,640,000 to be funded out of the City Commission reserves. The costs associated with the water line replacement and water service upgrades would come out of water capital, and the replacement of the storm sewer inlets would be funded out of stormwater reserves. The engineering cost of $39,000 would is included in those cost estimates and would be paid out of Commission Capital Reserve. So the Commission has the options to authorize City Manager to enter an agreement with Driggs Design Group, to direct staff to another option, or to do nothing. And here's the action should you choose to these acts to be considered.
I'll move that we authorize city manager to enter an agreement with Driggs Design Group in the amount of $39,185 for engineering services related to the design of improvements to portions of Ash, Elm, and 4th Streets to be funded from Commission Capital Reserve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Musil, second by Commissioner Jacobs. Typically, what's the percentage of the overall project costs that goes towards engineering?
Typically on
Something like this.
something like this, they would be in the 3 to 5% range.
Okay.
I think
that's
we're
that's what I was thinking, and so based
Yeah.
off of that, I'm looking at a little under an $800,000 project. So am I getting my hopes up prematurely that maybe our bids will come in a lot lower than 1.64?
No, I think that we're getting some pretty value engineering, economical engineering
Okay.
services. So, Driggs Design Group has proved to be quite competitive or with other engineering firms. He has low overhead. We haven't had any horror stories. He's projects of this nature he excels in. This is his wheelhouse. So I think he likes doing work in Hayes, and it's reflected in his bid prices. And I think you would see that in comparison to the other engineering prices, that they were probably more in that expected range, and his was lower.
Right. Is there some water line or sewer line repair or replacement that will be a part of this?
Yes, actually, and as I mentioned it last week a little bit, we will be coming forward soon with a project to award some repair of sanitary sewer lines that have blockages or collapsed sections, offsets where they can't get the cameras and cleaning equipment through, and we actually have to dig down and repair those. There is one spot on Ash Street that is part of that project that will be coming forward for your consideration, and that would be accomplished prior to this reconstruction project. So we would be repairing that sanitary sewer on Ash Street in advance of this project. And then, as I mentioned, the water line along Ash would be completely replaced and upgraded to an 8-inch line, and then the services. There is storm sewer on the project, and the inlets, the structure themselves is being replaced, but the pipes are still in really good condition, and so we're going to leave those. They are the old red clay tile pipe, but they appear to be as good as the day they were installed, and they have a life expectancy that probably exceeds anything we could put in the ground today.
John, do we have any, I don't believe we do, if I remember what the budget was, any other major streets reconstruction this year? I mean, unlike what we did last year with Allen Street.
This would be the major project for 2019 for major street, in addition to completing 43rd Street portion of 43rd and 45th, which we did 45th just recently, and we're waiting till after the first of the year to reconstruct the portion of 43rd Street. And then also on the radar, and we'll be bringing that hopefully before the end of the year as well, is the construction of the extension of 41st Street east of the Home Depot out by the Vineyard Park. That was part of the Home Depot TDD Phase 2 that was brought forth and is being funded by that. So
45th Street is great, by the way.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, it is.
Really
did
nice.
a really good job.
Any other questions or discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 4-0. Thanks, John. Next is annexation of Lot 8, Block 2, North Hayes Edition.
Hello again, Jesse Rohr, Director of Public Works. So this item, hopefully a relatively simple and mostly procedural type of item, tonight is we're requesting, or have had a request for annexation of what we call Lot 8, Block 2 of North Hayes Edition. This property is north of I-70 and would be north of the former Hayes Livestock Market Center. A little closer picture, and just to get you where we're at here, this would be Vine Street. This property here would be what was known as the Livestock Market Center. Hillside Vet here in the blue area. And then in the red box is the lot that we're talking about tonight. Couple things to mention. The property is contiguous with the city limits. City services, including street, water, and sewer, are all available at this location. No extensions would be required for development of the lot. An annexation of this property, as it is already platted and zoned, provides for orderly and logical advancement of future development. State statute on any annexation request allows you two options. Obviously, you can annex the property or choose not to. If you choose to move forward and annex the property, this would be the action requested as approving the ordinance.
Move we approve an ordinance annexing Lot 8, annexing Lot 8, Block 2, North Hayes Addition to the City of Hayes.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Commissioner Melick. Any questions, discussion? Nope. Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Melick, anything?
Nothing this evening.
Tonight?
Nothing.
No?
Yeah, no.
You guys are kind of boring. You know that? Well, I'll congratulate all of the candidates, whether they won or lost. I thought it was an interesting election. I'll give it that. And for all of our local candidates, whether you won or lost, appreciate you putting your name forward and being willing to take the praise and more likely the heat. So, and being willing to serve your community. So whether you won or lost, it's appreciated that you were willing to do that. God bless the city of Hayes. Adjourned.